Last week we mentioned that despite the sharp rise in bond yields and sentiment turning negative, there was a real possibility of a bounce in the Nasdaq 100 this week, as the sellers could not break below this weekly trend line for a second straight week. This week we got that bounce, as the selling remained capped, and we're now heading back lower after hitting the highs of 15,340 this week. Let's recap firstly what happened this week before I give you my thoughts and key levels to watch on the Nasdaq 100 in the next week. We started the week gapping down, as shown in the daily chart, after crude oil jumped on tensions in the Middle East, with Hamas attacking Israel over the weekend. Crude oil is a big driver of inflation, and that's a negative for stocks in the Nasdaq 100, which is why major indices gapped down overnight on Sunday. The central banks are aware of this, which is why this ECB member came out suggesting another rate hike may be on the cards during the week, which is bad news for European stocks. That gap down did not last long. It got filled on Monday, and this can and does happen after a knee-jerk reaction one way created by panic, which sees one-directional moves, is reversed once the market settles and the panic is over. The reversal and the calm was propelled by Fed officials talking down the prospects of rate hikes. On Tuesday, Fed official Bostic said that he did not see any further rate hikes, and he saw no recession ahead in the US despite the Fed hiking rates to slow the economy down. This caused yields to drop and supported the Nasdaq 100. The recent rise in yields has effectively done the Fed's job for them, which is why quite a few members are now talking down rate hike odds. It was only last week Fed's Daily even referred to this, and it's no surprise we have more officials this week making similar comments. Wednesday we had the first inflation report, producer prices for September, which came in above analyst estimates at 0.5% when 0.3% was expected. The Nasdaq 100 chopped about, but it wasn't until the Fed minutes, which also came out on the same day, that price moved higher. This was because officials saw only one more rate hike likely, while some officials said no further rate hikes are required. This is likely due to the rise in yields doing the job for them. Thursday, however, we had the September CPI report, which also came in above analyst estimates at 3.7% year on year, when 3.6% was expected. Now this did hit stocks as yields reacted. You can see it from this chart. Yields reacted immediately to the inflation report, with the 10-year rising. But it took a bit longer for stocks to digest the news. Then all of a sudden, as yields continued to rise, the Nasdaq 100 sold off sharply. Today price is backtesting the key technical moving averages around 15k, which is where price broke above on Monday. So we've done a full circle to the end of the week. What the end of last week did was give bulls encouragement after not breaking down key levels, and with price getting too oversold, buyers came in, and the rally has been supported by Fed officials this week. We had another Fed official talk about not raising rates any further today, and big bank earnings which came in better than expected from the likes of JP Morgan and Citigroup. Yields are not rising or moving inversely to the Nasdaq 100. So what is behind today's move? Well, commodities are up big, oil is up a lot, and precious metals are getting bid. Just have a look at the gold chart. The risk of war in the Middle East and further tensions rising over the weekend, just like last weekend, is what is likely causing weakness across the Nasdaq 100. In terms of levels to watch into the close of next week, the backtest we're seeing right now on the moving averages around 15k is key. If price holds this area, we look to push on higher towards 15,340 and 15,500. If we lose the moving averages, then we have 14,850, 14,680, and the weekly trend line around 14,500. The selling for now remains capped until the weekly trend line is broken to the downside. Next week, earnings are in full flow, with the remaining big banks reporting and Tesla and Netflix reporting on Wednesday, which will drive the Nasdaq 100. With that said, thanks for watching. Remember to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on future content. And I'll see you at the next one.